So we can start with these chickens. So then the big question then becomes housing. Where are we going to keep these chickens? Where are we going to have them? So let me just tell you, chickens are the most delectable dinner for everything out there that goes bump in the night. So everything at 2 o'clock in the morning that goes bump in the night loves chicken dinner. I mean, raccoons, foxes, possums, obviously, dogs, um, um, skunks. I mean, just everything that you wouldn't think. They love chicken dinners, and so you've got to have a secure place for these. And when I mean secure, I mean secure. And so in general, I am not a fan of quote unquote free range chickens at flocks under 200.
Oh.
So on a home scale flock, unless you're out there babysitting with them, and so if you're going to be home, you're working maybe in the flower beds or the garden or something, yeah, the chickens can run around, let them out, okay? Otherwise, keep them secure, or you're going to be really distraught when something eats them. And this thing needs to be, and all these predators I just mentioned, now not foxes, but um,
Yeah, we have
rac-
coyotes.
raccoons. Yeah, coyotes don't climb; they dig. But most of the predators, I mean, minks and weasels and pine martens and raccoons, possums, skunks not so much, but a lot of the predators can climb. So when I say um, secure, that means they have to have a top too. You can't just say, well, I've got a 6 foot wire. No, no, it's got to have a top as well, or something can climb up and get in. All right.
Yeah, we have one of my friends lives just about 20 minutes from us up further in the mountains, and we have little bears up there. And she sent a picture of the bear actually tore the top of their supposed secure enclosure, tore it open, climbed in there, got the chickens, and came out. And also, because they were using like chain link fence, the bear reached in through the fence and pulled the chicken out.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's serious stuff to secure your
Oh,
chickens.
oh yeah, yeah. It is serious stuff. And that neighbor's delightful little Fifi poodle dog. At it when that little beautiful little Fifi poodle dog encounters your chicken, they become a raving wolf.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't care how sweet and nice and cuddly and you know uh, nuzzly they are. Dog canines are predators, and something clicks in their head when they see a chicken and they go nuts over it. So when I say secure, yeah, and if chances are if you live in a normal urban setting, you won't be dealing with bears generally. Uh, you know, but yeah, a bear can be a pretty big deal. Now, one way we have a lot of bears here. We live up, next to the mountain out nowhere, and we have a lot of bear issues here. And we've been able to handle bears with two strands of electric fence. And you just put a perimeter around, put an energizer on that puppy, and get a good energizer. Don't get an energizer from Tractor Supply; those are all junk. Get one from Gallagher or Premier, uh, Premier fencing supplies, um, Ken Cove, uh, a Pell, Twin Mountain. These are all great. When you're dealing with electric fence, the one thing you want to do is put your money in the energizer, and so you can put an electric fence, perimeter. You can offset it, like if you've got your coop. Get your insulators offset at 6 inches, maybe 2 or 3 wires around, starting about 7 inches above the ground, and then come up, put another one on at about 18 inches, another one on at about 3 feet, and that way, if something starts to climb up, it's going to encounter um, the wire, and you can even ground it instead of grounding it to the ground, ground it to the 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 wire, whatever wire netting you have around the chickens. So now you're positive on the wires and negative to the fence. So when the animal starts to climb and leaves the ground, they don't have to be touching the ground to get the shock. And they
Oh,
and when they start climbing up your wire enclosure, and they hit that electric fence, you can get these offset insulators. They're about 6 inches offset, and that'll catch just about everything. And if you light that booger up, put 7, 8,000, even 10,000 volts on there with a good energizer. Um, we've had we've even energized the entire Eggmobile. We had a twice we've had bears come and try to rip off. I mean, yeah, bears they're strong, and they're smart, and try to actually rip off the entire metal siding from the Eggmobiles. And since the Eggmobile is on rubber tires, it's not grounded, so we can put an energizer up there, hook the hot to the Eggmobile, the whole thing. Okay, and when that bear comes up and puts his paw on that side of that Eggmobile, um, he's not going to do that a second time. And they literally leave and don't come back. So that's electric. A lot can be done with a simple electric fencing kind of setup that that would be it would be hard to have a physical thing strong enough, like to build a physical coop strong enough to withstand a bear is almost impossible, because I mean they can rip boards, they bite boards, I mean bears are strong, and they can tear stuff up. So a psychological war is a lot better, which is what electric fence is. Electric fence is psychological war, and you can offer that. So we're almost out of time, but wow, this is, yeah, this is good stuff. I hope for folks to realize how effective electric fence can be. It's pretty effective if you get a good hot spark on it, and get a fault finder, get a voltage tester from the electric fence company, so you can actually know how much is on it. I mean, obviously you could touch it yourself, but that's I don't recommend that as a way to check it. All right. So quickly, the I think the final question then is, do we have a stationary coop or do we move them around? And and obviously, um, there are reasons for both. If you have a very small place, like if you have just a house and lot, all right, I don't recommend moving them around in the yard, because you're gonna have a bunch of poop wherever you move them, and the kids are gonna track all the poop in the house, and that's no fun. Okay, so if you have less than, I'm gonna say, an acre, you probably want a stationary coop, and you can put them up close to the house. And the key there is deep bedding, deep bedding. Something, bedding that's at least, goodness, 16 inches deep, so that the chickens can scratch and basically be on a compost pile. Again, I go into this in great detail in my book, Polyface Micro. So I don't want to belabor it here. And I'm not trying to sell books. I'm just trying to be efficient here at plowing old ground. But the key here is to actually have the bedding deep enough the chickens can aerate it and grow bugs and things in that deep. We call it a carbonaceous diaper. And you can bring them all your kitchen scraps. Chickens will eat anything. I mean, they will eat you if you go in and lie down long enough. That should give you pause. Um, and even your pet chicken will eventually peck your eyes out if you go in and lie there. So,
Oh,
yeah, they are omnivores. All right.
ugh.
And so you can give the chickens, meat scraps, vegetable scraps, peelings. They tend to not eat banana citrus peelings very well, but they'll pick everything off but the pigment. So let them have that. And then if you have a deep bedding, they'll scratch that into the bedding and it'll decompose, and then you'll have this wonderful, compost for your, house plants or your garden or whatever, later on. And so while I'm known as the pastured poultry, guru, there in micro spots, micro places, there are a lot of reasons to have a stationary coop, but it does have to have this deep bedding underneath. So make your box so you can have this nice deep bedding. The other, of course, is a movable portable shelter. And so, there, if you have layers, you're going to want something on the neighborhood of 6 square feet per bird. Um, so if you've got 5 chickens, you want something, at least 30 square feet. And so that's a 5 by 6. Um, the key to portable shelters of whatever stripe you want, and there are tons of these. I'm not going to, definitively answer everything about a portable shelter. There's tons of them. But the key is make it light. Make it light. Because if you make it heavy, you're not going to want to move it. If you're not going to want to move it, you're going to leave it too long, and then their chickens are going to be in their poop, and you're going to destroy the grass because it's sitting there too long, and the manure that ought to be a blessing will be toxic because it's too heavy a load at one time. It's going to kill the grass. Now you're going to have weeds, and it's not going to be pretty. All right, so about the smallest portable coop you'd ever want to make would be something about 5 feet by 6 feet. That's really small. But very, you can make this thing, the whole thing can weigh just a few pounds, and even a child can move it around, and you can buy them, you can build them, you can, do whatever you want to. But I I don't recommend portable shelters until you get kind of over certainly over half an acre. And I would appreciate, I would move more toward an acre so you can actually, give them room, and the kids aren't tracking the manure into the house all the time. If you've got 1,000 square foot backyard, you're going to be moving those chickens around, and the kids are going to go out and play, and they're going to track it all in the house. Not good. So there's a time for stationary, time for mobile.
And for the stationary, what size do you recommend? Like the other one you said for the mobile, you said at least try to get 6 square feet per bird. Is there a recommended size per
Yeah,
bird for the
yeah,
stationary?
yeah. In general, I would say something in the neighborhood of, if they're going to be in there all the time, just double it to 10 square feet.
Oh, okay. So 10 square feet per bird.
Yeah,
And then also, like you said, if you're home, you can let them out, right?
yeah,
Let them free
exactly.
range. Just make sure they get back in
Yeah,
before the
if
critters
you're running,
come.
yeah, if you're running a, either a stationary or a portable, if you're home and you're out working around, yeah, you could let them out. Uh, and they'll go around, they'll pick up all the ticks and things like that, and grasshoppers and crickets, and enjoy that. But and then they'll go in at night. Friends, want to dive deeper into our thought provoking conversations? Become part of the Beyond Labels family today by joining below. For any gift amount, you'll get access to the full, uncut episodes.
Every contribution, whether big or small, keeps this podcast going.
So join us and expand your Beyond Labels experience. Thank you.